Uh-oh, I thought of an objection. Why did you stop at phrase A of 1 John chapter 1, A? Why didn't you do B? You have a problem with that? Okay, let me answer it ahead of time. Someone will say, yeah, but you just didn't, even though it's irrelevant to the discussion, we want to know what 1 John 5, verse 1, first phrase. Whoever believes, whoever is the believing one, that Jesus is the Christ, has been born of God. Over and done. Now, you have a Christian life thereafter, of course. And during this Christian life thereafter, well, I guess I have to explain it. They are connected. One has to become a believer and become born of God in order then to express the one who's loving, agape, self-sacrificial, agape love for the Father, the one who gives birth to him, and then the Father loves the child who has been born of him. See? So, yes, that's the next step. A lot of Christians don't take that next step, or take it so occasionally it's hardly observable. But let's go and check it out. Go to the second phrase, 1 John 5, 1b. Whoever of those that believe that Jesus is the Christ, phrase A, in other words, children of God, born of God, for the while that they are expressing agape, godly love, for God their Father. By the way, you're not going to do it 24/7, right? Even as a mature Christian. There's not a moment goes by that you can't say, I have no sin. Well, 1 John, let's just take a look at that. Know what verse you're talking about when you say that. 1 John 1, 8, and 10. It'll open up a little bit slow today, like the temperature. Okay, here it comes. A little slow, like I said. And what are we looking at? 1 John 1, 8. It always comes up because you can't claim to be without sin. 1 John 1, 8. Which means you can't claim to be doing something faithful, even for a moment, in God's acceptable perfection. So what do you do with that? 1 John 1, 8. If we say, while we're being faithful, the implication could be we have no sin. If you're doing God's favor, doing something for God, is he going to accept it? Well, I'm doing something great. You imply that, well, not so great. If we say that we have no sin and doing what we say is faithful, we're deceiving ourselves and the truth is not in us. We're liars. So don't think that you're going to be God's favorite kid on the block for any moment in this life. You have to look for direction from him. It begins with the next verse. If we confess our sins, God, he is faithful and righteous to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. Then you can move on. Confess and move on. Now you can say, well, I haven't sinned for a long time. If we say that we have not sinned, we make him out to be a liar, and his word is not in us. So the direction you get is almost from behind. You say, look, I didn't do so well. I did what I thought was my best, but here's some flaws that I'm aware of. So confess them, and God will forgive those things you confessed and cleanse you from all unrighteousness, and you have another moment to move on. He's actually redirecting you. And our steps are never perfect, so he'll perfect them along the way and give us credit for them when we confess the faults and the flaws. That's a great God. The one that lets you go on your own and you're not perfect, and you realize it after a whole lifetime you haven't been perfect, but you need reminders, and the reminder is you reminding yourself by knowing when you fall short of the glory of God. How do you know that? Study the Bible. Okay, are we there yet? So, whoever are those that believe that Jesus is the Christ, children of God, born of God, for the while that they are expressing agape, godly love for God their Father, they must also be expressing agape, godly love for those whom the Father has given birth to for fellowship with children, fellow children of God, born of God. Or there is no agape love being expressed at all, in the sense that the one goes hand in hand with the other. So you may be an immature Christian, and it can be shown by dint of how you treat brethren in Christ. Well, confess and move on, and keep studying Scripture so that you can realize where you fall short more often. Now, let's see. So, verse 1b, phrase B, and whoever loves the Father also loves the child, the one having been born of him. And whoever those that have believed that Jesus is the Christ, children of God, born of God, for the while that they express agape, godly love for God their Father, that's exemplifying their fellowship with one another and fellowship with God. If you don't have fellowship with God, you don't have fellowship with fellow believers, and vice versa. They say they must also be expressing agape, godly love for the children born of Him, fellow believers, fellow children of God, born of God, in the sense that the one goes hand in hand with the other. This is a hard thing to take. The issue is not how likable a child of God, born of God, is to another, that would engender affection or friendship, but because they are. Their position in Christ, fellow children of God, born of God. They are children of the one who gave birth to them. And by that you owe agape, self-sacrificial love toward them, whether you like them or not. By that alone are they to be agape loved by all who are born of God. This takes direction, which keep your nose in the Bible to learn what that is to do that. Compare 1 John 4:21. And this commandment we have from him, that the one who loves God should also love his brother. Author John states that in 1 John 4:21, the command to children of God, born of God, that if they love God, they should love one another also. All part of the same command, which is sourced in God and is from him. To do one is to do the other. And if you're not, you're out of fellowship. So what do? 1 John 1:9, confess it and move on. And go back to the Bible and study it some more. Note that John stipulates that this command is from him, meaning God, Jesus Christ. So, take another look at 1 John 2:10. The one who loves his brother abides in the light, and there is no cause for stumbling in him. There's a value to seek doing this, whether you like somebody affectionately or not. Compare 1 John 3:11, 16 to 17, and 23. For this is the message which you have heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. And 1 John 3:16, in this we have known the love of the Son of God, because he for us his life did lay down, and we ought for the brethren our lives to lay down. Self-sacrificial, moment to moment. You don't actually have your life taken away, which is rare, but you sacrifice the lifetime and money of your life for the fellow brethren. But whoever has the world's goods and sees his brother in need and closes his heart against him, how does the love of God abide in him? The answer is, it doesn't. What do? Confess it, move on, study Scripture. Do things that you don't like doing, but you do it out of duty because of the agape, self-sacrificial love, which doesn't require affectionate love. And this is his commandment, 1 John 3:23, that we may believe in the name of his Son, Jesus Christ, and love one another, just as he commanded us. So in 1 John 5:2, going on to the next verse, by this children of God, born of God, apostles included, know that they love one another with an agape, a godly love, while they express agape, godly love toward God, and while they do his commandments. Likewise, children of God, born of God, cannot express agape, godly love toward God without also expressing agape love toward one another, and without also obeying his commandments. They all go hand in hand. Without doing the one, they are not doing the others. So since God has commanded children of God, born of God, to love one another, one cannot say that one loves God while one does not obey God's commandments. For expressing agape, godly love toward one another is one of God's commandments. That's a hard one. By this we know that we love God, the children of God, that when we love God and observe and do his commandments. Which one is to love children of God. Oh, God, I'm going to obey all your commandments except this one guy in my church. Oh, boy. All right. So by this, children of God, born of God, apostles included, know that they love one another with an agape, godly love, while they express agape, godly love toward God, and while they observe his commandments. Likewise, children of God, born of God, cannot express godly agape love. Agape is not emotional love, it's self-sacrificial love, the one that Christ did on the cross for us. Godly love toward without also expressing agape, godly love toward one another, and without also obeying his commandments. It all goes hand in hand. like I just said here. Excerpt from 1 John chapter 2, 1-5. And whoever may keep his word, truly in him the love of God has been perfected, made complete. In this we know that in him we are. So look at the commandments, of which one is to love one another, and agape self-sacrificial love. So, and whoever may keep his word, truly in him the love of God has been perfected. In this we know that in him we are. So the Greek phrase rendered, and whoever may keep his word, results in knowing God beyond one's experience of salvation unto eternal life. Since this Greek word rendered tare means to keep in the sense of carrying, carefully guarding, and observing, then this phrase has in view one who carefully guards and observes God's commandments for a period of time, resulting in one being declared as follows. Truly in him the love of God has been perfected. In view is the love of God as demonstrated in the children of God born of God, when and while they are keeping God's word. It means you have to put your nose in it to learn it. The Greek word agape, rendered love, in 1 John 2:5, refers to the godly, self-sacrificial, benevolent, loved children of God, born of God, are commanded to express for one another. And this commandment is in Old Testament Scripture. Leviticus 19:18. You shall not take vengeance nor bear any grudge against the sons of your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. In the Greek translation, the word rendered love there is agapesis. That's the Greek Septuagint Bible. So it's agape, self-sacrificial love, characterized by an individual who is in God and who abides in him and who walks in the same manner as he, Jesus Christ, walked. That's a tall order. That is so. Lots of confession here, right? Children of God, born of God, who have been perfected in God's godly agape love, have been made complete in their mortal life effective for those moments that they are walking in the light of God's absolute righteousness, including confession and keeping God's word. As you attempt to keep God's word, you're going to find flaws and faults and mishaps, and you have to keep on confessing. This is a way of God redirecting you towards his righteousness and not your own idea of it. This is a message about children of God, born of God, while they learn and obey God's commandments, while and when they study and obey the word of God, wherein those commandments are contained. Again, I say they go hand in hand. So, the subject of knowing God beyond one's experience of salvation into eternal life. The subject of the last two verses continues in verse 5. Those who are children of God, born of God, when or while they are faithful, and when while they keep the word of God, have been perfected in the sense of having been made complete, are matured. When while they keep God's word, they are in harmony with the absolute righteousness of God, with God himself and his Son, Jesus Christ, and by the grace of God through walking in the light of God's absolute righteousness, including confession and obedience. And for those moments when the disciple has been perfected or made complete, the verse goes on to declare, in this we know that in him we are, in the sense of abiding in him, having an intimate fellowship with God, having a greater knowledge of God and of his Son, Jesus Christ, than when we first believed in Jesus Christ for eternal life. All by the grace of God. For no one can claim to live perfect moments without sin. We just read that a couple of times, 1 John 1:8. So actually your walk by God is allowing him to direct your life and acknowledging all the moments during the day that you fall short of that, which is most of the time.